Is the microphone supposed to be back further? Don't you guys like it when it's back further?
I liked it better. The other one. I liked it better close.
Not talking to you. That's okay. Thank you for the mushrooms last night.
So Dan and I did, and Cody, we did mushrooms, and we went to a fancy restaurant, which is a terrible idea. I didn't know we were going to have dinner.
Jeff in the car.
What did you think you were going to do at the restaurant? Exercise?
I didn't know we were going to a restaurant.
Jeff in the car on the way to the Bel Air Hotel. So you should take them now, because that way, because they take an hour to kick in, and then I don't know when we took them, but exactly an hour after we took them, we were at a maitre d' station.
See, I didn't know we were having a fancy dinner,
and it's in a restaurant where everybody was like, that better be Peter Jackson, because otherwise it's homeless Hodor it's a thing. I was just dressed. Well, I was wearing these clothes, and Jeff was wearing a suit. And then it was then we ordered the food, and then it came, and it looked like Beetlejuice, and
my appetizer was terrifying. It looked like my salad was talking to me, and it was wild. And you don't want to eat.
In my memory, what you ordered looked like an Indian headdress.
Yes, it did. Exactly.
It was like there were leaves coming out of different colors.
What was that movie? The Mayan sacrifice movie that Mel Gibson produced. My meal looked like Apocalypto.
He ordered the Apocalypto. Sorry, I'll face this way too sometimes.
And I looked over. Cody was laughing like crazy. Dan you looked really paranoid.
I was upset.
And I just said, hey, you guys, why don't you guys take a walk? I'll take care of the dinner. So I pretended like I was your handler, like your manager, because I had a suit on, and I said, Mr. Harmon and Cody, they found out they had to leave. May I please get their food to go for them, and I'll take care of it. And so I sat there.
We're running around in the front. I'm a seagull.
So I walk out. I enjoyed my dinner, and it was trippy because I was sitting there when you're on mushrooms, you're very self-aware, and you feel like everybody else is also kind of aware of you, but maybe they're not at all.
Right.
But now I'm just a dude in a suit with all 3 people's food in front of me. And I made it out of there alive. I had a couple drinks, and I tipped pretty big on your card, so I hope you like that. And I bone out, and then Harmon is sitting out by himself at a fountain, and he's got his left hand in the fountain, and the water's trickling on his hand. And I go over there, and you were the fountain was talking to you.
When I laid my palm on top of the surface of the water. And when I dipped it beneath the surface, my hand became an ape's hand. And if I lowered it, it became an alien hand. Because apes are more sophisticated than aliens. And the more primitive the life, the more advanced it is, because the more primitive the life, the more it's able to contact me, because it's based on water, and water is the conduit. So as I kept my palm on top, when Jeff came up, I had just figured out that if I keep my palm on the top of the water, I can listen to all life. And do you know what it said? Jeff sat down and he said, "What did it say?
What did all life say?"
It said, "Tell our story." And I will. Life hitched its wagon to the right star that night. I see your story set in the Old West, but with Andy Dick as the sheriff. Someone pay me.
I watched Aliens. That's what I did last night.
Steve's got cups. We need those.
Thank you, Steve Levy. Steve Levy, everybody.
Watch the second half of Aliens. That's a good movie. It still holds up. It's fun.
The second one?
The first Aliens.
Oh, don't. I mean, okay.
There was only what?
The second movie in the Alien franchise. The
right,
first
and I watched
Cameron
the second
movie.
half of it.
Right.
Just the second half?
Just the second half.
My favorite line in that movie is not "Game over, man," but in that same conversation, it's just, because Bill Paxton and his, she's like, she knows the way around the, and he's just like, why don't you put her in charge? And I didn't do it.
I don't know if you're keeping score. We just got our asses kicked back there.
All the other ones, I feel like, well, it's Bill Paxton. It's sort of like Bill Paxton. It's great because in the sense of like, oh, Christopher Walken or Nicholson, like it's like a caricature of himself. But that line, why don't you put her in charge? I kind of also. I was like immediately. It was like, yeah, what the fuck is going on, man? We're gonna get killed. Like you know what I mean? Like it was good. It was also like he could. There was a tunnel to his soul.
Good in that? Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser's very good in that.
Paul Reiser's great in it. That whole movie is like really a slam
good.
dunk.
Yeah.
Slam dunk. That's a slam dunk.
Spencer, you ever done mushrooms? Are you a mushroom guy?
Nah, man. Because, here's the thing they say about mushrooms. You know what they say? They say, if you think you're going to have a good time, you will. And I can't think I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, well, people freak you out by saying it's like this weird Mobius strip of like, oh, if you think it's possible to have a bad trip, then you will have a bad trip.
No, I only think it's possible to have a bad trip.
And yeah, I understand completely. Same thing. I just took the, I wanted my I didn't want my girlfriend to think I was a pussy.
Filthy fucking hippies.
But Cody had a bad time. We both kind of had overall a bad time. I mean, I think it was worth it to just communicate with all of life, like for. But I think if
she was saying like demons were coming out.
We only took enough to have kind of a bad ecstasy trip. Like it wasn't like we didn't. It's like I think the point of psilocybin is supposed to be ideally that and they're using it to treat post-traumatic stress now and other ailments because psilocybin has a clinically measurable effect of something previously thought to be immeasurable, which is perspective. Like you actually take enough of it and you walk away with the sense that you are part of a larger whole. And it's sort of like they give it to like people that were in Iraq and got blown to bits and are having trouble coping with that stress and shoving it down, and they experimented with giving them psilocybin and they're finally doing some scientific research into these effects. I think if you don't take quite enough to push you through onto Jim Morrison's other side, that you simply are just like super aware of yourself. Because I got out of the shower and I was just like staring at myself in the mirror, and I knew that I was disgusting, but I was also like, I'm beautiful. Like I was like Cody after like 20 minutes, she's like, baby, you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm an ape. Like, I just know that I'm an ape. And I was just naked, and all of the patterns of my body hair and how they were revealing that I had descended from an ape that had gone through a semi-aquatic phase. That's right. That's why we're hairless. That's look it up, Elaine Morgan's aquatic ape theory, and it was being proven to me because the scintillating drips of water were following this this perfect pattern. And it was just like this, everything moves when you're on mushrooms. So it's like my big pink round gut was like pulsating like this cocoon full of baby apes, and I was just like. And I was just going like this and watching my belly button and my nipples turn into this mouth going like, ah, this face going like.
It sounds like you had enough.
I did, but it was all kind of up here. It was all about the self, and I think that a true mushroom trip.
I told you guys to take 3. You only took 2,
kids,
right?
If you're doing it, take more. And tell the cops I said it was all right.
The first time I ever did mushrooms, I was with Jason Sudeikis and a friend of his from Second City. We were in Vegas, and he was doing a show at
this story is such horseshit. I'm so sick of you telling the story about you and Jason Sudeikis and his comedy friends taking mushrooms. I know it's fucking not true. And
it is true. I was in the bathroom and I heard knock, 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 and then Jason Sudeikis is outside. He's like, "Hey man, you okay?" Because we just taking mushrooms, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm just talking to the shampoos right now," because the shampoos he and his roommate, they were doing a comedy show at the Flamingo, and they were staying at a place near where Tupac got killed, I think. And they had all these stolen hotel shampoos, and they were like a little choir of angels singing to me. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm just singing with the shampoos. And Jason's like, all right, see you.